We are glad to be here today with Angela Koehler Lindsay, who is a member of the Vanderburgh County Council and is running for re-election in an at-large seat. Also joining us today are Tara Barney, the President and CEO of the Southwest Indiana Chamber of Commerce, and Chris Zirkelbach, one of our Government Affairs Committee members. At this point in time, thank you, Angela, for joining us, and I'm going to turn it over to Tara for the conversation.
Thanks, Sally. And Angela, first, thanks for all your service to our community. We appreciate it. And it doesn't go unnoticed.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all that you guys do as the chamber, especially in this time of craziness that we're in.
Well, we have been learning to do some new things this year, so that's always healthy for us. I thought I'd just start off with the standard question, probably one that you thought about. Given the pandemic, there's likely to be a need for some adjustments in how you allocate resources. And I'd be interested in knowing your thoughts on what things really require protection or increases, and where you might see a chance to accept some of the adjustments that are going to have to be made.
Awesome. That seems to be the question of the year, and certainly one, and probably the most pertinent question for us. As you know, our role in County Council is simply to manage the budget. That's our main job, and we have done that very carefully with lots of consideration and very frugally I've been there since 2012, but even beyond that. Our council is composed of a lot of experienced council members, and I can't emphasize enough how important that is going to be going forward. We're kind of in the middle of our budget process right now, so we have hopefully some good information on how we're going to see the pandemic affecting us next year in 2021. And because we had some months that were not affected, 2021 will not be as severely, as much of a concern as the years beyond. And so it's just going to be critical to maintain the balance on the council. Like I said, I've been there since 2012. I served on city council prior to that, so am blessed with a wealth of knowledge about how to maintain government and the budget. And simply put, what we have to do is just continue to prioritize like we've always done. This council has done a phenomenal job of working together and making sure that we are not spending what doesn't need to be spent, that we are only taxing what needs to be taxed, and we're just using our resources very carefully. Obviously, public safety is one of the main #1 concerns. I think particularly this year, given the bad rap that public safety has been receiving. This council has worked really hard to make sure that we are able to grant them a contract that's going to actually give them a raise. We think that we're going to be able to give our county employees that have worked so hard through this pandemic to provide the services, which is what our role in government is. You know, we tax citizens so that we can provide services. That's pretty basic, but that's how government works. Maybe that's a little bit of my teaching background coming through, but that's what we're here for, is to make sure that our community is running well and that our citizens have the services they need. So obviously public safety, the Sheriff's Department is going to definitely need to be funded. Roads and streets, those kind of things. And we will just really carefully continue to do what we've always done and work to bring a good budget to the table for our citizens.
Thank you. Thank you. Chris, you want to lob the next one?
And you're on mute still.
Ready to catch.
Chris, you're on mute. There you go.
And my wife Susan, she warned me not to get off script, but
that's okay. I never get on script. We'll be on script together.
I'll be in a lot of trouble if I get off script. So, well, the second question, and thanks for taking the time with us today. The second question is, the business and the civic community has set a goal to increase the total population of the region, with particular emphasis on those 20 to 34. What sort of programs or infrastructure investments do you believe can be made to help attract more people to the region?
Awesome. That's a great question. Thanks for asking. And it's very critical. we all know, and I firmly believe that Southwest Indiana is where it's happening. It's where you want to be to raise your family. It's where you want your kids to grow up here, because we have everything that you need. We have a town that, as my dad always said, it's large enough to serve you, but small enough to know you. And we have the low taxes. We have our housing stock is excellent, and you can buy a home here and be a homeowner in Southern Indiana. And I think we've been very friendly to the business community. We need to continue with, and I love hearing that there are efforts out there to attract that 20 to 34 base. As the parent of a 22 and a 24-year-old, I'm blessed that both of my children have chosen, at least for now, to stay here in the community. And I think that speaks a lot for our area. Like I said, we have resources, we have services, and our role in government is to continue to support and to work with the city, to work with you all in the chamber, to work with others in economic development, to make sure that we are attracting businesses here. We work with the school corporation, the diocese, to make sure that our schools are good. We may be the best kept secret out there, but this is definitely a great place to be. Another big role that we have on county council is to coordinate or oversee oversee is probably a better word, the tax phase-in program. So that's just a mechanism that we have in government to be able to attract businesses and phase their taxes in over a period of years, and get them to come here and increase our job base for our citizens. So I think that we just need to continue on the path that we have. I don't know if there's any great big thing that we're doing differently. We just need to continue buckling down and working together as a community and doing more of what we're doing.
Boy, Angela, that was a great lead in to the question I'm especially curious about.
Okay.
Because the council has a pretty significant role in guiding and improving economic development incentives. And as you look to the future projects, what do you think are the most important things to consider as you grant incentives or the use of the tax phase-in program? Are there particular incentives or initiatives that you're most supportive of? I'm curious about this because we know that Southwest Indiana is a great place to live and raise your family. We also are a little challenged in getting our mix of salaries high enough for families to maintain a good standard of living and that sort of thing. So I'd love your thoughts on that general topic.
Okay, that's kind of a broad topic.
It is. It gives you a chance to tell me what you think about it, and I can dig down into more nuts and bolts. But just your thoughts in that area, because you have the unenviable situation of having every business that needs or wants an incentive come to you, and you get to be. I know you have good advice from staff, but ultimately you get to give it the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Correct. Yeah. And, we always do look at, and I always have, as I said, I've been able to serve this community, been blessed to be able to serve this community for a good part of the last 27 years through city and county council. I always tell people I started when I was 2, but that's not true. I was pretty young when I did start, and so I've been able to watch and look at the role that government plays, and it's kind of that networking role, because the main tool that we have, as you said, is that tax phase-in. I think a big thing that we did was at one point, it was called tax abatement, and people kept getting the wrong idea that we were letting businesses off and they weren't paying taxes, and that's not it at all. It's an economic development tool to help attract and retain businesses, and so that's what we look at. As a council person, we do look at what the staff brings to us as far as the projected jobs. We want to see that a company that's coming in is going to definitely be maintaining the jobs that we have, but also increasing them. And we do look at that level of employment. We don't want, we want a variety of incomes. There are a variety of skill levels in our community. And so we have obviously phenomenal universities right here, and now the med centers here. So we definitely want to attract and retain those types of positions, you know, as well as someone that did Ivy Tech or maybe just did a high school program. So we want to make sure that we have something for everybody, and we're going to continue to use that tax phase-in tool. We do get to review those every year, and we do question them, and we do bring businesses back. If they haven't done what they said they're going to do, this council asked them to justify why that happened. We had one who's come in just last week on our meeting. And you know, once they give us an explanation that's satisfactory, then we can go forward with that and continue just to grow things here. And like I said, you know, the biggest thing is just working with all the folks such as you guys at the chamber, and the other economic development entities and committees that are out there, so that we all work together, and we're going to just keep this being a great place and make it even better.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Chris?
Thank you.
No, that's great. Great perspective.
So we changed the question a little bit.
We did, just low. You're fine.
Okay. I didn't pick up on the whole thing. You want to ask the question?
No.
Um,
Got it.
Well, here's question number 4, the way I've got it here in front of me. Let's see what we got. What is your priority issue you plan to champion during your term on the council? And then Sally, if we need additional revision, Sally can pipe in on that.
No, I just also want to make sure, Angela, you can use this time to talk about things you have championed, and then what you look forward to in the next 4 years if you're elected.
Awesome, thanks. And you know, I maybe am going to sound a little bit like a broken record, but I am really all about my 2 main priorities are spending less and taxing less, and doing the best we can with the resources that we have. I like people to know that I manage the county budget the same way that I manage my own checkbook here at my house. My husband used to like show people the 1994 pickup truck. I wouldn't let him buy a new one until he still has the thing, but it kind of limps along. And he finally did get a new one, and it's a 2011. No, it's a 2010, so I let him upgrade a little bit. So I don't know if you want to call that frugal or if you want to call that cheap, but I just really do believe in doing more with less, and meeting the needs of our citizens with what we have, making sure that our county employees, that our public safety officials have what they need to be able to provide for our citizens. And you know, that's really what it's all about. That's what I've done my entire career. And I'm going to continue to do that. And, you know, I'm proud of my record on city council and on county council. We had someone come in last month or earlier this month, the last county council meeting that we had. The auditor had a gentleman come in, and he commented, he was kind of trying to help us work with some of the things that we can do, or some little technical things like figuring out how to spend. You know, there's different limits, and there's legalities and things on how you can spend certain pots of money. And so this gentleman was looking at all of our data, and he commented that he has not seen a county that does a much better job than we do of managing our finances. And I was so blown away by that someone from the outside recognized what a great job our council does. I mean, and we're just going to continue doing that great job for the citizens of this community. Spend less, you know, keep our taxes low, and keep the services out there that you need.
Well, I could belabor that, but that seems like a pretty great way to wrap up our interview. Sally, anything or Angela, anything you want to add? Because I think that's well put, and we certainly appreciate you sharing your thoughts and your priorities and your experience, all of which matter, I think, and will be important for us to get out to our constituents.
Thank you. You know, I'm going to just mention one more thing. Many folks know that I was a public educator for 22 years. And I took early retirement, and I put that in quotes because I really just retired so that I can work my small business and have a flexible schedule. Someone said to me in one of the other groups interviewed us, wanted to know why I wanted to keep doing this when I was retired. And I said, I'm not retired. I don't know that I will ever retire because there's a lot to still do for this community. And I'm just really excited to be able to serve and continue to give back to Evansville and Vanderburgh County what they gave to me and to my family. So I would appreciate your vote on November the 3rd. Make sure that when you vote, you go down there and you get the at-large candidates. We are separate from the rest of the tickets. So I'd appreciate a vote for Angela, Koehler, Lindsay. Thank you.
Good coaching. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.